Good evening. I'm Adam Devine. I'm a principal at Sandbox, a brand experience consultancy, and a veteran of the first internet bubble. And I'm sitting here with David Karp of Tumblr and Charles Foreman of I'm in Like With You. Charles, what do you think about this topic, forming identity using social profiles?
I think it's interesting because from my users' perspectives, they don't really have an identity yet, so they identify themselves with various brands. So they put a lot of our male users who are 14 years old are not comfortable with the way they look, and so instead of uploading a photo, they're uploading like a picture of a car or a supermodel or something like that. So I think it's interesting that they use the internet to role play to some small degree, and I think everyone does that, including myself. So if anybody reads my blog, they will think I'm probably a douchebag asshole, and whether or not that's true, I definitely ham it up so that I have these sort of sensational things that I say. And that's I think it's funny. I think it's humorous, and for the people that know me know that I do that for effect.
Talk to us about the difference between the habits of your average 14-year-old and the average 24-year-old.
I think it's the point of context in which they're using the site. So for 14-year-olds, they're using it for entertainment. So they're not search-based, they're more browse-based, and so they go on these sites, they're hanging out, and I think the number one hangout for kids is AIM. So they're going on AIM and they're all chatting with each other on AIM, and they have group chat, they have Skype chats as well, group chats. And I think from a 24-year-old perspective, it's much more utilitarian. So it's I want to look at photos of people so that I could meet a girl and fuck her. That's I mean that's the driving behavior of most of social networking. So.
How is the way that you guys are monetizing different from other social platforms?
Well, mine's quite direct. So we sell items to compete competitively in the game, and so as well as cosmetic items. So people want their car to be blue or red or something like that. We sell those items.
David?
I have no idea.
You and everybody else. How often do you guys Twitter?
Well, now
Or tweet, rather.
5 to 10 times a day, but automatically through Tumblr, which is sort of an interesting mechanism. So we just did this integration last week. Well, so this is interesting though. So this idea that Twitter is a protocol, which is something. So we both have 2 investors in common with Twitter, and it's just interesting hearing all the ways they describe it. One of the ways I've heard is Twitter is the new protocol, right? So in a lot of ways it looks a whole lot like email, instant messaging, chat, and text messaging combined. For us, I have a profile on Twitter. I have a bunch of people who follow me on Twitter, even though I never posted there. So this new thing we did on Tumblr was just, okay, we'll take all this neat stuff I'm posting to Tumblr and send a link to it over to Twitter, basically. And our users loved it. We had first day tens of thousands of people give us their Twitter username and password so that we could automatically post to Twitter, and all of their Twitter friends could see all the stuff they were doing on Tumblr. Just sort of an interesting way to look at how these platforms and how this following stuff scales, or how those identities really scale across the web.
As the leaders of businesses that have lots of users, your relationship with the people on your site are kind of akin to a 6-year-old with an ant farm. Have you ever just totally messed with the user?
Yeah.
Let's take another spin at it. What's the nastiest, most vitriolic feedback or letter that you've ever gotten from a user?
I've had moms call me.
Really? What have they said to you?
They say something like, "Do you know that my 11-year-old daughter is on your website?" And I say, "No." And they say, "Well, she is." And then I say, "Okay." What are you going to do about that? And I was like, "Well, I'll delete her account." It's like, "I think this is horrible." And I was like, "Well, your daughter is a liar." You're not supposed to sign up for the site unless you're 14.
David, Any interesting feedback from users you want to share?
No, our users generally like us.
Wait, hold on a minute. Play it up. Stop. You know what you want to do with that, right? You want to put a banging donk on it.
Thank you guys for your fantastic questions and your attention, and thank you to Charles and David for sharing.
That's sick. That is sick. I could definitely drop to that one. All we need now is like a hook line. You know what? I've got actually the perfect one. Bassline. Oh, wicked. Now put a donk on it. Electro. Oh, that's sick, that mate. Put a donk on it. Techno.